What's going on, guys? This is part two to the video. Can you name it? If you can name it, we've already proved that if you register it, it then becomes theirs partially, and they can resist, they can regulate, they can limit what you can do with your very own thing you pledged to them, because that's what registering is. So we talked about if you can name it and what that means, but after you now named it, and we know we don't have to register it, you've given it a name. So let's say I name my house here. Now, of course, I'm saying this understanding that some of you guys know that my house is in the private and we're working on enforcing that. So, though I'm talking about the house, let's go with something a little bit more simpler. Let's go with a car. Okay, start there. Same principle. If I work hard, I get my money. Nobody can claim that money or me. I go get a car. I named this car, which on my sales receipt says it's a automobile and not a motor vehicle. Hold on, I got a lot of applications open. Okay. Then I'm the owner of it. And this may sound weird because most people are not used to standing up to authority or challenging rules or laws or whatever else, like I am. Then I name it, you know, Automobile de la Lovitica. Or in this case, because it is registered to my government, I drafted up that that entity owns it. I don't have to, but I let them record me as the owner within the DMV. This is a nicety. There's no law that says I have to. In case somebody were to steal it or whatever else, they'd have something to work with. It's a nicety. I don't have to. It's private. There's no law requiring anything or anybody private, only public, to register. So now that I've named it De La Lovitica, I get the creator ability to define what that means because that's how ownership works. When they own the courts or the police or the this or the that's, they get to define your role as an employee, what your uniform is going to look like, what time the courts opens up at, because they own it. That's their right as an owner to the thing that they create or control. And when you register to them, you are subbing underneath them as a sub franchise. And to the people who asked in the comments section in one of my other videos, yes, I did get a new chair. Like it, kind of nice. Which means if I then own my vehicle lock, stock, and barrel, I can define it. Because the law states whoever is the owner of a thing controls it and can define its use. Now, here's where it goes. When a police officer who doesn't know this information, so do not be on the side of the highway trying to argue these things, either have it all in your book, your travel binder, or make sure the system is done right. No offense to police officers, they just don't teach you guys this. So it sounds, oh, crazy talk. It's the law. It's the superior law to what you guys know. This is the legal level of the law. There's almost nothing deeper than this. Well, there is quantum, but most of y'all aren't even ready for half of that. And I don't know all of it yet, but I know some. So the law, the level of law, see, there's the law, and then there's the legal level of the law. There's how people just read it, And then there's what it actually means, and there's a gray area in here because a lot of people think this means certain what they read sometimes, and sometimes it is. But the legal department, this is where I operate at. And the lower you go, the more superior it is moving up the chain over those people. So if you can define it, I am, have, and do define my vehicle then as an automobile. It only becomes a motor vehicle if I register it. If I register it, it's then in the public for public administration, public control, rules, codes then apply. If it's not, or I'm trying to not be a part of that, and they try to find old information, that is fraud. It is deception. It is ultra vires. You're going above and beyond your power, and you're trying to force joinder, which is a federal offense. You're trying to force peonage, forcing me to do something, and you're not paying me for it. And we have no contract. I have no obligation. Now, this doesn't mean I can go up and down the road just speeding, doing all kind of crazy stuff, because that's endangering public safety. That's then a controversy. I, as a private person, private citizen, excuse me, if I do a controversy, then they can get involved because they're thinking it's a sign of distress. So they get involved to help, even though their help always seems to end up in an arrest and tickets because they believe you're in their membership. And that is a right that they have, just like taxes. It's a membership for the 14th Amendment, U.S. citizen. Now, once again, blue ink in their waters doing business, but not underneath their jurisdiction. So if I decide to keep it a motor vehicle, or excuse me, to not make it a motor vehicle, I have that right as a private citizen, as a national, as somebody who, when operating from that capacity, is foreign to them and theirs. The reason why this is so controversial because this has never had to really be said before. We went from every vehicle on the road free, no plates, no regulation, or whatever else, to then companies using their vehicles, blowing out smoke and damaging the roads and whatever else. And the people are like, hey, we need to do something about this. So the system says, sure, we'll create a product, we'll create a license for those commercial uses. Oh, and if you get this commercial license, sure, you can use it for your private stuff, but it's also not completely private because they're giving you the right to do commercial stuff. So you've crossed the commercial line, but they're saying within that, if you're not doing hardcore business, you can then use it privately, but you're still regulated. That is different than completely private and right to travel, which existed before the commercial license, before the license. In fact, you can, and the law has never taken that right away. It is an unenumerated right that has never been taken away. Congress, the people have never said, hey, let's abolish all private travel. If you know about it, you can use it. But then those same people, though they didn't cancel it, they said, well, but we're making money on all these people getting licenses, so let's just not say anything. And then it basically all but vanished in a matter of years because nobody had the balls to stand up for their rights. Now the people are so scattered and fractured and snowflakey They don't know how to get together. And that's where they then control and rule and dominate by making all these people be separate. If you notice all of these new things that are coming, all these topics daily, it's all a form of entertainment. They want chicks to be masculine whores. They want guys to be feminine weaklings. They don't want nobody to be smart. They want to get rid of the dynamic nuclear family. They've had the ability to use CRISPR and whatever else to get rid of viruses and a lot of these diseases, but they haven't. Individual companies out here engineering ticks, allegedly. Okay, excuse me. And causing these reactions in people. But I digress. It's all entertainment. I'm giving you guys too education. That stuff is on my Badwolf unrestricted channel. It'll probably pop up at the end. You should probably join that one if you haven't already. Thank you to the people who already have. You guys are my true VIP. Just like the people who helped me build this channel, you guys over there who helped me to build that channel, thank you. I may not remember every single one of your names, but a lot of you guys I do remember. I do see the names. So thank you. Sincerely. How many other gurus say that? Good thing I'm not a guru. When you name something, let's say I call my, here's the real power they also don't want you to know. So let's say I call my vehicle a Mobius. Well, Black's Law Dictionary doesn't have a definition on a Mobius, so that could help me out in the court if they bother me. If I write, because it's in my own jurisdiction, my own government, my own nation, just like the Native Americans, they have their own laws and rules. They're right down the street. They have their own terminology. Do you think they call themselves Native American? No, they call themselves indigenous peoples or the first people. Whoever owns or controls the thing can name it. And if you can name it, you can define it. And what is the definition of black or black American or white American? You don't know because they don't put the definition. So you assume it means, and then your brain says, well, it must mean this. You know, one of the reasons why I like Michael Jackson, and I'm glad that a lot of the information is coming out now that proves and vindicates his innocence in there. He was attacked and framed. Not saying it's perfect. I don't know all of it. But I like the fact that he would use words like Shimon, which I think means shit, hurry up and come on. Shimon, girl. I think he means bitch, but I'm not sure. Um, but he's out here inventing words. And then he can control the definition of it. Bling bling used to never be a thing in the dictionary. Now it is. Because these people made it famous and so many people started using it. They're like, well, we need to define it. And whoever defines it or defines the word first is the owner of it. I wonder who owns the word corporation. Now, there's some things out there that they say, oh, well, it's been out there so long, it's considered part of the public. And we all know that there's public administration. So it ain't you that owns it, it's still yet them. I'll talk to you later.